Hey guys, nice to see you all again. So recently I went on a trip to Bali. I mean, it wasn't that recently, it was like almost 2 months ago. And this is a planned trip that I had with my childhood friend Richie. And yeah, being Bali was like a really fun time. It was just very wholesome. But as you know, being the gay little gremlin that I am, I was also totally down to be a whole in a threesome. Not that I actually went and did that, but you know. But what is it actually like being gay in Bali? How is the crowd? Was it easy to find people? So in this video, I will be going over what the general crowd is like in the areas that I was staying at. I'll also go over the cultural attitudes about being gay here. And then I'll also go over some tips in general. Some gay tips and regular tips. So yeah, let's just get started. Now let's start with the crowd. So I stayed in Villa Barawa in Canggu. And if not that villa, then a villa that was very nearby. And then after that, I stayed in Waterfall Villa in Ubud. Now for the first place in Canggu, so this place was like next to the beach basically, like a good 10-minute away from the beach. And because of that, there were a lot of tourists. The crowd was very white dominant. I mean, like, you know, minus the locals. So like the ratio was like 60% local, 20% white, like 10% Asian, and the other 10% was everything else. Yeah, I know it might sound like 20% isn't like a lot of white people, but like literally when I was staying there, like around every corner, there was like a white person, a white group of people, a white group of travelers just like walking around. And they're all pretty fit. There was a lot of fit people in Bali. And I'm talking like muscular and lean. And on Grindr, I think this area, Canggu, was very condensed. Like the furthest person away from me, like I hit that Grindr distance threshold at like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers away. So like the furthest person away that I could see was like 1 kilometer. And yeah, a lot of them had that beach body. I mean, it makes sense. We're next to the beach, right? Super lean, super muscular. And if not muscular, then just super lean. Like they're all just very lean. Most of the tourists here are just like lean in general. Now, the second place I stayed in was in Ubud, which is like basically like in the mountains somewhere. And the crowd here was like mostly all locals. Unless you went to the central Ubud street, which is like the main tourist place. And the ratio there was like similar to like the ratio in Canggu. So it was like 60% local and then like 40% white, Asian, all the other ethnicities and tourists. But strangely enough, in Ubud, I felt like there was more Hispanic people. I don't know, maybe I went during a Hispanic holiday or something. But yeah, 60% local, 40% everything else. And when I went on Grindr in Ubud, I'd say it was like 70% local instead of 70% white people like in Canggu. So yeah, Grindr in Ubud, 70% local people and like 30% other ethnicities just based on the tourists that are there. And also, unlike in Canggu, the body types here was a lot more evenly distributed. Like a little bit of everything, you know? You got your twinks, muscular people, bearish people, otters, nerdy people like me. Yeah, just like more evenly distributed. But also far as shit. So unlike in Canggu, where like when I started scrolling and I hit like the furthest person at the 1 kilometer mark. In Ubud, the furthest person away from me was like 8 kilometers away, 7 to 8 kilometers away. Yeah, I stayed in a pretty isolated area. Yeah, so that was like the gay landscape. Okay, but first, I have to mention, if you watch my previous videos, you probably know what my type is, but I'll just explain it to you here. So basically, I prefer people who have big, ginormous, huge man titties and or people who are like just thicker than me or like bigger than me and are also kind of clean cut. And the reason I bring that up is because since that's my type, those are usually the type of people who I try to message on Grindr. And in both Canggu and Ubud, basically almost every single person I messaged was like a money boy. Like a good 80% of the profiles I was like talking to, all of them were money boys. And like there were so many. It was actually kind of shocking because here I was thinking that Vietnam had like a lot of money boys. I thought Ho Chi Minh City had like a really high concentration of money boys. Like you go on Grindr, you are pretty much almost guaranteed to find at least one profile that's like advertising their services. But in like Bali, it was way higher. I felt like every single person I was talking to, like they would like just say, oh, I'm actually a money boy. Do you want to hire me? And it was just like very disheartening. Maybe I just had like really bad luck, but it really did feel like every single person that I approached on Grindr was a money boy, like at least 80%. But yeah, overall, I feel like my general impression of Bali as a gay person is that if you like white people who are slightly tan and go to the gym a lot, I think you would like Bali. Or if you just like in general people who have like beach bodies, but like the lean kind of people. And also if you're more of the digital nomad-y kind of person, I met like quite a lot of digital nomad-y kind of people. I mean, not specifically me, but like on Grindr, I saw their profile. They're all like digital nomads and stuff. So if you're looking for those kinds of people, Bali has them. And also communicating with people in Bali was actually pretty easy. A lot of the gay Balinese people, like I feel like a good almost 80% of them I was able to talk to, like the ones who respond to me at least. They were able to like speak English pretty well. So I really had no trouble navigating through Grindr and like the gay landscape that was Bali. Now, moving on to like the cultural attitudes about being gay here. So as you know, Indonesia is a primarily Muslim country, and you know, Muslims are not really known for their homosexual tolerance. However, Bali, the island, is a little bit different than the rest of Indonesia. So Bali is more Hindu, and because of that, they're a lot more tolerant when it comes to gay stuff. But you know, it's still a part of Indonesia, the country. So you know, just be a bit more careful. Unlike me, I was not careful at all, and obviously, I'm totally fine. But you know, in hindsight, it probably would have been better if I, you know, reined it in a little bit, because as you can probably tell, I don't do a good job of hiding my gayness. Like, this is me in my everydayness. My voice is kind of gay. I talk with my hands a lot. Yeah, this is just how I am, naturally. So if you can tell that I'm gay, just with my body language and the way I talk, then you know for sure that the people in Bali definitely know that I was gay. Super gay. I was a walking rainbow. And yeah, I was safe. I was totally fine. So you should be as well, but just know that Indonesia, the country, is homophobic. And in the places I stayed at in Canggu and Ubud, people did not seem to care that I was openly gay. Okay, like I wasn't like openly like making out with boys left and right, obviously, but like I was very clearly flamboyant. Maybe not like that, but like I didn't hide who I was. And yeah, everything seemed pretty alright. But I will note that like I stayed in like more of the touristy areas, so that's also probably why a lot of the Balinese people are probably used to just foreign people doing foreign things. Hence why they were more tolerant of me. So yeah, you should be safe in Bali, don't worry. Especially since there's an actual gay street that you can go to. While I was in Bali, I spent one night going to this gay street. This is where the most well-known gay bars are at. So I went to Mixwell, Balijoe, and G Club. And okay, just as a general disclaimer, I am not a bar person. Like, I do go out and hang out with my friends here and there. I do go out to gay bars sometimes if my friends are going. But honestly, I am a nerd at heart. I'd much rather stay home and play video games or play some board games or just like hang out and chill out in general. And like, I am all about spending quality time with the people I already know rather than going out and making new connections. And honestly, I admire people who can do that. People who can like go out every night and just meet new people, because oh my god, girl. Like, my sleep schedule could never. But yeah, anyways, the first one was the one that I thought was most fun. It's called Mixwell. It had good music and people were like pretty active. Like, they were dancing. I didn't really talk to anyone new there because, you know, as you know, I'm a nerd and kind of introverted in those kinds of spaces, so I wasn't really actively trying to meet new people. And I was also with my best friend Richie and also another local friend, so like I was just chilling and talking with them. The Mixwell Bar had a go-go boy show, which is pretty entertaining. And there's like this MC who's like mingling around and making cracking jokes at like some of the tourists and some like other guests that were like at the bar. The crowd here was like pretty diverse. Pretty much every kind of gay that you can imagine was here. I mean, all different kinds of ethnicities and body types. Oh, and I also, while I was here, I tried this thing called a radler. It's like this beer, but it's like very lemony, and I like it a lot. So if you go out in Bali, try the radler. Unless you like really don't like citrusy stuff. The second bar I went to is like literally right next door. It's called Balijoe. It was definitely smaller and definitely a lot more concentrated with white people, and like an older generation, like an older white generation. And it's like reflected in the music as well. The music was a lot more old school, like rocky, I guess. Like, I don't know. It was like an old school kind of music and it wasn't really my vibe. But you know, if you enjoy that kind of stuff, maybe check out Balijoe. And the third club that I went to is called G Club. Now this place I felt like had like the best venue in general. It was like a very large place, but also it was the most dead. The music was okay too. At the time they're like playing some sort of Nicki Minaj remix, which, you know, I appreciate. Yeah, I like the poppy and more thoughty kind of music. And yeah, I thought this place had okay music. I felt like Mixwell was a little bit better, but the venue here looks like a lot of fun. Like, if there was an event happening or something and it was like more crowded, I can imagine this place being pretty fun. But you know, because like these three places are like right next to each other, it's like literally just one street. You can like bar hop, go in and out, check out which one is your vibe, and just stay in whatever one you like for the rest of the night and just talk to people. I'm not sure if there's any other gay bars that you could go to, but there's this other bar that is super popular called La Favela or something, and pretty much all the locals I talked to recommended that I go to that bar. But like, I didn't really go out again after that first night, so I missed out. But if you are in Bali and you really like bars and you like the night scene, also consider checking out La Favela. Like, really high reviews from my friends and other locals. It's not necessarily gay, but I just heard it's like a lot of fun. Like, the gay locals were like recommending me to go there. Now, for some tips in general. Now, this tip is for the people who use a douche hose attachment. Before you go to Bali, double check to make sure if your hotel or Airbnb has like a detachable shower head or a bidet. Luckily for me, in the two places that I went to, they did have like a detachable shower head and a bidet, so like I was safe, but there is always a chance that you will get a place that only has like an overhead shower, then you're gonna be square out of luck. Now my next tip is don't drink the coconuts here. Like I am a tropical bitch, okay? I live in Vietnam. I love coconuts. Every time I go to Thailand, every time I go to Singapore, it doesn't matter where I am in Asia, I'm always buying fresh coconuts. I love to drink the coconut. But when I bought the coconut here at the beach, so I bought coconuts twice, an actual coconut, and both times in Bali, I felt like the coconut just wasn't satisfying. I felt like the taste of the coconut was like a little bit more on the sour side. Like I'm not sure if I just got unlucky both times, but yeah, the taste was just very different from the Thai or Vietnamese coconuts I usually have. Like it was a lot more sour, and the type of coconuts that I'm used to are like more on the sweet side, and like yeah, this feels more refreshing. The ones in Bali just didn't feel that refreshing. Still, give it a try though, but just be forewarned. My next tip here is do not eat snake fruit. Or if you want to eat it, make sure you buy only one, because this fruit has a very unique taste. Because you know, I get it. You're in Bali, you see something interesting, you want to give it a try, you get a little confident, and then you buy a bunch of it. Don't do that. Because like this fruit, it has a very unique taste. If you're in Bali, you might as well try it, but I'm just recommending that you buy just one, only one, to give it a try. My next tip is to get an adapter, because the one in Bali has the type with the 2 holes in it, and I did not bring an adapter. So that was fun. So bring an adapter. And my last tip is more for, it's kind of special. It's only for people who are living in Vietnam. But I know a good portion of you do live in Vietnam because I checked my analytics. So for those of you who live in Vietnam and you're planning to go to Bali, or like actually anywhere around Asia or anywhere else in general, consider going on Shopee and buying a physical SIM. I did not know you could do this until recently when my friend told me about it. But like I bought a SIM for very cheap and it shipped over before I went to Bali. Then I went to Bali, then I just stuck the chip in and it worked. Like hassle-free, got my data, super convenient, and it was very fast and easy. Like I know you can do the eSIM thing, and I have tried multiple times, but the problem is, like I don't know man, my phone is like fucking ancient, okay? Like she from the Jurassic period. I'm pretty sure if Jesus saw my phone, even he would be like, oh brother. Like yeah, my phone, she getting crusty. Crustier than a banh mi sandwich. So yeah, my eSIM, sometimes the eSIM works, sometimes it doesn't, and I really don't like having to hope that the eSIM like doesn't run into any issues while I'm in a new country. So when I discovered that I could just get like a physical SIM for like super cheap, almost the same price as the eSIM, and have it shipped over to me, like it just felt like a lot safer, you know, because I have the physical SIM, I just stick it in and like it just works immediately. So yeah, I linked where I bought my SIM in the description, so you can check that out if you live in Vietnam. If you don't live in Vietnam, you may be able to get it, but I don't know if it'll be worth it for you. Anyways, that's it for this video. That's basically my general first impression of Bali. I hope some of it was useful. Kind of felt like I was just rambling, to be honest. And if it wasn't useful or you had like a specific question, let me know in the comments, okay? But yeah, that's everything. So I guess I'll just see you guys next time. Bye.